Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. Now, what are we starting with? Well, we're starting off with Nvidia and we're talking about money. So welcome. I believe it's Thursday for me and it's around 11 a.m. in the morning. So welcome to my live stream. So what are we talking about? Essentially, we're talking about money flow, money shifts, and you being able to ride economic booms from one economic boom to the next so that you do not get caught in the jaws of recession. And how am I starting off my live stream? Well, I'm going to be talking about Nvidia and I'm going to be talking about Nvidia stock. So if you don't know about Nvidia is cool. Okay, their technology is unbelievably cool. So strap on your seatbelt. Welcome to my live stream. Now there's a couple of rules. I do have a moderator. So if you are not focusing or paying attention, then usually what happens is that you get blocked and or muted. So again, welcome to my live stream. Please focus. This is not entertainment. This is educational. This is informational. And this requires you to really pay attention. All right. If you don't want to get blocked and or muted, just keep on topic and focus and add value. Next, I like to help as many people as possible go from broke money to new money to more money. And for me to do that, I need you to tap the screen and give me hearts. That lets me know that we're vibing, we're understanding each other, and I can proceed over to my topics. Last but not least, this is about money. Money. Being able to understand history, current events, all kind of business psychology. I'm going to give you my insights and what I see so that you can have a different perspective with a little bit of humor and a lot of shade, but you have a different perspective as far as what is happening. So what I'm asking you to do, strap on your seatbelts, get ready for me. I'm usually saying some shocking things. Tap that screen, give me hearts, focus, add value, and let's have a good time. Now, Nvidia stock is crashing. Now, some of you who trade in the stock market, you would be concerned about Nvidia. I'm not concerned about Nvidia because if anyone sees exactly what Nvidia is producing, a stock market crash doesn't mean a damn thing. I want to repeat that because some of you guys, you get really hot and bothered when you see stock prices dropping from real credible companies. Nvidia stock is dropping. That is temporarily. That is a temporary drop. When you're actually looking at a company and you understand what they do and the value that they bring and how they align with the robots and the technology that they're producing and the value that they bring to this digital wave, and I would say, you know what? It's all hype. It's all hot air. It's not real. That's for people who have money, who's investing in the stock market that can do this. Now, guys, if you're joining my live stream, I want to tell you, you don't get my insights without giving me hearts. This is our economic exchange. I'm giving you value, I'm giving you education, and I have an expectation. My expectation is to see a string of hearts. If you don't feel that I add any value to you, you can scroll. But if you do feel I add value, and I'm asking you, all you're gonna do is tap the screen and give me hearts. You give more hearts on bullshit than you do on someone's educating you. So let's vibe, let's keep up, let's focus, and let's tap that screen. And I promise you, I will deliver. All right, I will deliver for you. All you got to do is tap the screen. Thank you. Now, Nvidia stock is crashing brutally. It's been doing this for 5 days. Now, Nvidia stock, look, Nvidia, the Magnificent Seven, has taken a nosedive and it's spooking investors. You see, this is the thing I don't understand, and I'm going to say this time and time again. You have traders, you have analysts, you have stock investors. You understand the game, right? You understand the game with investing. You understand the game with risk and reward, and you understand the game of the stock market. Why is it that these people who are professional, who are affluent, who are educated, can't seem to grasp the fact that markets cool down, markets heat up, markets speed up, markets slow down? That really makes me question the people who are managing our money on Wall Street. You really have to take a step back, guys, and you have to look at what these people are saying. First of all, they are spurring fear. Okay, they are making consumer confidence and how all of you feel, they're making it worse. They're making it worse. First. Second, to be an investor, you have to have an education You have to be licensed. You have to have tech background, technical experience to trade the stock market. If I was a captain of a ship and a wave came and a wind blew and I started losing my mind because the wind was blowing and a wave came through, you would look at me weird as the captain of the ship. So if our investors are the ones who's supposed to be captains of the stock market and they can't handle tariffs and they can't earn money because of trade uncertainties, I'm questioning who you are investing your money with. I'm being sincere and I'm being real. You don't see Nvidia arms up in the air saying, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Do you hear Nvidia crying? No. Do you hear Tesla crying? No. So why is it that Nvidia's not crying? Their stockholders are not crying. Tesla's not crying. Elon Musk is not crying. The Magnificent Seven's not crying. No, you have these fake ass Wall Street investors who are crying. Let me tell you why. Because they don't know what they're doing. Because of some version of cronyism, thank you for the gift first. Because of some version of cronyism, they have hired people to manage your money who do not have the skill sets, knowledge, expertise, or the temperament for the risk. So you have these people who are incompetent, managing your money, reporting to the news, basically fostering fear, when the fact is this: they're not skilled at what they do. Because let me tell you, I've traded stocks. I've done day trading. I know there's lines, there's technical analysis, there's real hardcore data and science that goes behind analyzing a market. So if you can have a peon like me who understands this is the game, this is the jungle, what is their problem? I'm just giving you guys some food for thought. I'm giving you some real food for thought. So when you're investing your money with so-called financial planners and investors and they're giving you all this hype, I'm telling you, you might want to reconsider what you're doing, because you have a number of people who retire broke. They put money into retirement accounts. They trust people to manage their money. And lo and behold, these were not people who were movers and shakers. These are not people who analyze and read the markets, because the markets tell a story. The stock markets tell a story for those who know how to read the numbers and read the charts. The people who are managing your money cannot read the numbers. They cannot tell you the story, and they don't understand economic and business cycles. And this is real talk. Okay? This is real talk. Now, why is this critical? This is critical because we are dealing with a recession/depression. And when you have a recession/depression, cash is king. Money, money, cash, 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 money, money. When you're dealing with the economic recession, you need access to cash real time. You cannot be tied up in financial investments like what these investors are telling you to do. They're telling you to buy low, sell high. Well, first of all, buy low is great, but that's a rich man's game. How long is this economic storm going to last? So while you're weathering a storm, and you're gnawing on sticks on the street because you don't have money, because you're waiting for the stock to go up, that is a rich man's game. That is why companies like Nvidia and Tesla and their stock, they're not worried about the market, because they can afford to play this game. You can't afford to play the game that some of these people are doing. So when you're listening to these analysts and they're telling you to buy, they're telling you to hold, you really have to question their motivation behind it. Okay, City Boy, I can never get over myself. City Boy, let me tell you this, because I rock. Welcome to my live stream, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. My live stream is about money. If you can't handle me talking about money and putting your political, religious, racial preferences and all your other bullshit to the side, my live stream is not for you. My live stream is about cash, and I'm taking people on an economic, all your other bullshit to the side, my live stream is not for you. My live stream is about cash, and I'm taking people on an economic journey so you can build generational prosperity. This is not about generational poverty. This is about generational prosperity, by understanding the cycles of business, by understanding the stock market, and reading and understanding the story that is playing out in front of your face. I want to be clear. So tariffs are dampening AI's excitement. Okay? There's a high skepticism on whether AI boom will deliver. Let me tell you this, guys. I'm going to call bullshit. And let me tell you why I'm calling bullshit. Because of the digital wave and digital technologies, I've said this a few days ago, it is creating an economic cyclone, an economic tornado that is sucking the wealth, the prosperity, and the systems that have been put in place for a number of industries. I'm going to repeat. AI, quantum computing, automations, robots, algorithms are changing the game of business. And because of these technologies, they, I would say, are the foundation, the baseline for why these other industries are toppling over, they're crumbling. Are you with me? Hold on. What's my solution? Jay, if you want a solution, leave my live, go to my profile. Don't interrupt me, Jay. Don't interrupt me, Jay. You will get muted and or blocked. If you want an answer, go to my profile. If you're trying to disrupt me, you're going to get blocked. Where's my people? Let me know if you're ready for me, because if you're not understanding, I can't proceed. Are you here? Are you here? Because if you're not understanding, I can't proceed. Are you here? Are you here? How do you let me know you're here? It's a string of hearts. Guys, if you can't handle what I'm saying, then you're not objective. Very clear. Are you here in my live stream? Are you not? Please tap the screen to give me hearts. I want you listening and I want you tapping the screen. Please. Thank you very, very much. Now, what is happening? AI is one of the critical reasons, if not the only reason, in my opinion, that these markets, the stock market, the crypto market, industries are being impacted. Let me explain to you why. It's technological innovation. Because of automations, robots, algorithms, they are actually making business more efficient. They are making them more profitable, and it's actually eliminating any of those business hiccups that a normal business would experience. So because of AI and its capabilities, and you add in quantum computing, it's actually able to perform jobs that humans used to do at a much more accurate and quicker rate. So when you have the stock market telling you that they have skepticism on AI, no. Let me tell you what they're doing. They are scared because they may have to sell their shorts at the stop sign. And instead of getting on the bandwagon with going with the digital wave, they are casting doubt on AI so that you go back to these industries that are collapsing. This is a prime example of money transfer hesitation resistance. I told you money doesn't disappear, money moves. And when money is moving away from people who are used to holding the bag, holding the cards, manipulating the markets, they can't handle that. So what do? They throw shade. They throw doubt. They throw doubt. They're telling you AI can't deliver. But let me tell you how I know AI can deliver. Because AI got them scared. AI got them running. Crypto is basically crumbling their industries and markets in front of them. Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be dealing with this recession. You wouldn't be having a hard time getting a job if AI, quantum computing, automations, and robotics couldn't bring it. So that's why you have to basically look at the motivation of the people that say it. You don't hear NVIDIA saying, I can't bring it. You don't hear Tesla saying, I can't bring it. You hear stock market investors saying, I don't think they can bring it. I call bullshit. The fact is this, they can't handle the pace in which AI and quantum computing is dismantling their financial economic systems. They can't handle the destruction, the speed of the destruction that is happening to industries that they've grown very comfortable and very affluent off of. That's real talk. Can AI bring it? Yes. You want to know why? Because it's taking jobs of employees. Can quantum computing bring it? Yes. It's going to rip through the biotech industries and so many other industries. Can e-learning bring it? Yes. That's why you have Trump dismantling the Department of Education and so many other industries, because this technology is going to change the game. This is no different than us riding horseback and Henry Ford creating the automobile And people are trying to convince you cars can't do it. Don't invest in cars. Cars is not the future. Invest in horses. Let me tell you where those horses are right now. They're not on the street. Cars are on the street. So what is the moral of the story here? Can AI bring it? Most definitely. Is AI coming at the speed that these Wall Street investors would like? No, because real technology, real value takes time. So what do they do in the meantime? Well, Wall Street has to go broke like a lot of other people. Did you know that? Wall Street investors can go broke also. Wall Street investors can be unemployed also. You're not the only ones who are worried about their personal economic future. So when they're saying the digital economic boom cannot bring it, I'm sorry, did you see a robot do a backflip? Did you see a robot do a backflip? Do you see self-driving cars? Do you see robots inside of buildings, watering plants, chopping up food? You saw that, right? You saw that, right? I saw that too. So if you see robots that can water your plants, walk your dog, fix your car, why would AI and quantum computing be able to keep up? The only people who cannot keep up is the stock market, are these analysts, are these investors, because they played too much with your money. They rode a wave that did not exist on hype and hot air, and now they're losing and they can't handle it. Are you with me? Next topic. China blocks its firms from investing in the U.S. ahead of tariffs. Now, guys, I'm getting ready to gloat. You have to excuse me, okay? Some of you are not going to like my arrogance. Some of you are not going to like my arrogance, but I'm sorry. If I got it, I got it. I got it, I got it. If you watched my live stream a few days ago, I told you that companies like BlackRock, HSBC, and Citibank were encouraging domestic and international investors to put their money into the Chinese economy. Now, I love China. I want you to understand, I have no bias. This is about economics. This is about history. This is about business. This is about cash and current events. That's all this is about. I love China. Now, I want you to listen to me. China has basically blocked its firms from investing in the U.S. ahead of tariffs. I told y'all that if you invested your money in China, they could freeze your assets like we did to Russia. Was anyone in my live stream when I told you that? I told you people like Larry Fink were trying to encourage you to put your domestic and international investment, pull it from the U.S. and put it into China. And I told you this is why you need to know history. I said, because if we can freeze the assets of Russia, and we're going through trade wars, tariff trade wars with China, and China has a fundamental structure of communism. And if you don't understand history, that's what I told you. They can freeze your money and there's not a dang on thing you can do with it. So here we go. China blocks its firms from investing in the U.S. ahead of tariffs. Do you not know what that means? Does anyone know what it means when a country can step in and stop its business owners from doing what it pleases with its own money? That is what makes a consumer-based society so great. When you have a consumer-based society, you have a level of freedom, essentially, that allows you to do as you please, for the most part, with your money, with your thoughts, and with your actions. And when a government comes in and they can freeze your assets and prevent you from doing as you want with your money, that is the basic premise of the difference between our ideologies. I told you different things can influence the flow of money. You just watched a government halt the flow of money like that. Now you ask, why would they do it? Well, they want that money to stay in the country. Now the next question you should be asking me is, why do they need that money to stay in the country? Let me know when you're with me. I told you my live stream is intense. I told you you got to be able to focus and keep up. Let me know when you're with me. When I see those hearts, I know you're with me. These are questions that you got to be asking to understand what is happening. Now, I have no ill will. I believe anybody can do whatever they want. Okay? If that's their country, that's their belief system, they can do whatever they want. Okay? I want to be real. This is not about right or wrong. This is about the flow of money. Okay? This is about money flow and how money stops and money shifts. So money that was going to be invested in the United States because some of these firms were running scared. You must understand, if Chinese firms were trying to invest in the U.S. before the tariffs, they were trying to diversify and hedge their bets. They were trying to save a portion of their butt cheeks. And the Chinese government came in and said, no, 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 no. You're not going anywhere. Your money's not going anywhere. Your assets are not going anywhere. You're staying in this country. Now, I ask you, why do you think they would do that? Because they need the money. You see, one of the wonderful marvels of understanding history and different ideologies is that when you are in a certain country that has a certain structure, they have the right to come in and take anything that you thought was yours. Are you with me? Come on. I told you, I'm very simple. I told you I'm very simple. I need to see the hearts. There's no way I'm going to help as many people as possible with the string of hearts like this. Come on, guys. I know you're not getting this anyplace else. I know this. I know you're not getting this information anyplace else. I need you to bring it. Show me how much you appreciate me. Me and my team do a lot of work to bring you this information. I want to be clear. Me and my team, we put in a lot of energy to bring you this information. And I need you, I need you to show your appreciation for it. All right. Now, Larry Fink, HSBC, and Citibank were trying to convince the world to pull their money out of the United States. Didn't I tell you those mofos were lying? I told you they were lying. I told you they were setting you up, and I told you it was a version of a global money heist. I said it was a global money heist. Because if someone can keep your money, lock your money down, you have no legal recourse, you just got played. You just got played. You just got played. And let me tell you this. Who are you going to complain to? Who are you going to complain to? Because if you knew history and you understood how ideologies actually impact the flow of money and economic cycles, you would not invested your money off of the basis of a man and a white collar called Larry Fink telling you to put your money in China. You understand? You wouldn't be listening to a bank like HSBC saying, hey, the U.S. is neutral, China is overweight. If China was overweight, why are they locking funds in their country? They need the money. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm not saying this is a good thing. What I'm saying is that when there is interference with global trade, when there's interference with the flow of money, when money flow is interfered with, let me tell you what happens. It creates an economic downfall. You can go back in history over time and look at the effects of how certain belief systems impacts the prosperity of a nation and its citizens. I don't need to go into detail. The proof is in the history. So why would people engage in such a system? Well, it's power. It's money. It's about money and power. So any of you who listened to these folks and these white collar people, and you put your money over there, namaste. Good luck to you. Because you should have listened to me. If it doesn't make sense, BS, all monies are insured by the FDIC. That's the best you got? Coach Teo. Anyone wants to know this? All monies are insured by the FDIC. Is that true? Anyone in my live stream? Are all monies insured by the FDIC? Does anyone know? Does the FDIC insure Thank you. I got to call Saint Upit. No, you sound foolish. The FDIC does not insure all money. So what I want you to do, listen to me. I want you to STFU. 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 Or scroll. Moving on. STFU. Or scroll. Moving on. All right. So regulators on domestic firms doing business in the U.S. and they're holding back approvals. Now, if you don't know, you need approval to engage in any type of business activity and certain types of societies. Read between the lines. When you do business in certain countries, or you're a resident or a citizen of certain countries, you actually must have government approval to sneeze and or fart. So the government in China is cracking down on domestic firms doing business in the United States, and they're holding back approvals. Do you know what that does to a business? Its bottom line, if it cannot engage the way it needs to? When a business cannot conduct its business, it interferes with its revenue and income. What's always between the lines? You getting blocked. That's what's between the lines. Bye-bye. Okay? When a company cannot engage in business activities, they're done. And when a business have goods that they cannot sell because the government will not give them approval, their goods are essentially worthless. Goods are only worth something if you have a customer who's willing to buy. And if the government comes in and says, hail to the no, you can't go, you can't sell to the US, your goods are worthless. And let me tell you what happens next. Seizure. They take it. They take it. Are you with me? If you can't sell your goods to your customers, you can't invest outside your company, outside your country, your goods get taken. Why? Because they can. Where are you? Come on. I'm only halfway through. Y'all got to keep up. You got to keep up. Yes, wholesale companies are going to suffer. Come on, guys. Welcome to my live. Welcome to my live stream. Y'all should be making me go viral. Come on now. Make me go viral. Make me go viral. You know why? Because I deserve it. They're worthless. And then the government comes in and scoops up this stuff and makes it state-owned. It makes it state-owned. And this is one of the fundamental problems with economic prosperity and riding the money flow. Money flow is no different than the four seasons. If you do not interfere with nature, nature will do its job. When human beings interfere with economic policies and interfere with the flow of money, that magnifies poverty and or magnifies prosperity. And if prosperity is magnified too much, you have an economic bubble. There's a sweet spot between give and take, buy and sell, money flow. And if you allow money and people and businesses and buyers to do what it does well, did you know the beauty of this? Majestic Mo, on some level, I'm going to give it to you. Okay, Majestic Mo. America or Chinese confiscates. Listen, BD, BDAB, America or China confiscates. Don't worry. Listen, if you're not paying attention, I'm going to get you blocked. If you missed out, just sit back and catch up. This is very important for everyone to understand. One, do not ask me questions because you missed out. Next time, show up to my live stream on time. If you're missing out on information, then you need to sit quiet, catch up and listen. If you're asking me questions and disrupting my live stream because you showed up late and you didn't know about me, that's your problem. Do not interrupt my audience. Let's flow. So what does this do? Well, this is a big problem from global trade. This is an example of possible borders, okay, economic borders coming up. And for me, I think it's unnecessary, but that's my opinion. But for anyone who owns a business, who cannot engage in business, I would be really, really concerned about you. Let me give you another examples. Regulators also halted, okay? Chinese regulators also halted a $23 billion sale of C.K. Hutchinson's ports worldwide. Does anyone know who C.K. Hutchinson, does anyone know about C.K. Hutchinson? C.K. Hutchinson's ports. Is there anyone on my live stream who is familiar with C.K. Hutchinson's ports? Anybody? Now, when I say ports, I mean trading ports, cargo ship ports. Does anyone know about C.K. Hutchinson? If you don't, that's okay. You can let me know that too. Is there anyone in my live stream who knows about C.K. Hutchinson's ports? Anyone else? Yes, okay. Now, you know that the U.S., the U.S. was in process. Yes, the U.S. was in process of buying 2 of the ports, okay? Panama. Now, let me tell you what happened. Regulators, Chinese regulators stopped Li Keqiang from selling 2 of his ports to the United States because of these trade fights. But now they stopped all of it. So originally, if you were paying attention to my live, I told you that they were blocking 2 ports from being sold to the U.S. They've actually stepped in, and they have stopped Li Keqiang from selling any of his ports. Now, I just gave you, this is my second example of government coming in, stopping a businessman or a businesswoman from selling assets that are their own. Now, Li Keqiang is a billionaire. His last name is Keqiang. That's Keqiang. Okay? Li Keqiang is not able to sell his ports. He can't do what he wants anymore, and he is a billionaire. He's also under investigation. This is my beard. This is my beard. Hold on. You need to listen. Y'all got to keep up. A man who is a billionaire, who owned cargo ship ports worldwide, was in the process of selling 2 of his ports tied to Panama to the U.S. Initially, 2 of the ports that he was selling, that was stopped. They have now proceeded to stop this man from selling any of his ports. Nice beard. Does anyone know why? Can you guess why? Li Keqiang is no longer able to sell any of his ports worldwide. It's a very simple answer. Can anyone guess why the government is going to step in and stop this man? Goodbye, Sadris. Hi, Asme. Does anyone know why the government will stop it? Does anyone know? Taxes. Okay. What else you got? Does anyone else know? No, Johnny John, don't say such things in my live stream, okay? This is about cash. I'm going to tell you. They want the money. They want the power. This man owned strategic ports around the world. And now that the U.S. has basically had Liberation Day, and we have placed high tariffs on some of our trade partners, by the government holding on to those trade ports, which are strategically located around the world, they can actually impact the U.S. and global trade. What do you think? They are essentially taking this man's property, making it state-owned for economic power and trade influence. So Li Keqiang went from a business owner to being under investigation and losing his company and assets. And I'm being hypothetical, okay? This is my imagination. This is my imagination. Where are we at? Tap, tap, tap. We're at 30 minutes into my live. You can't be tired of me just yet. Come on, keep up with me. Where are my people? Where are my people? Come on. Where are my people? Come to me. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is how you know things are getting serious. This is how you know it's getting serious. Because if you go back in history and time, and if you look at, you will see similar actions in the past, and you will see what it led to. Thank you, Sherlock. Exactly. This is a next level version. But you know what, guys? This is not good or bad. This is not about right or wrong. Okay, so I don't want to say this government. I'm focusing on money flow. So thank you, Stephen, for that comment. But I want to keep this neutral and I want to keep this balanced. Okay, I am focusing on the impact of money flow and how the impacting money flow actually translates to microeconomic booms or forms of recession. Okay, so even though, Stephen, you got something, I want to keep this. This is neutral. This is educational. This is informative. This is not to incite taking sides. This is to educate you on what to do and what not to do by understanding history, by understanding current events, by understanding the culture of a country. Okay? No trade, no money. So if we can't get access to those ports, thank you, Stephen, I appreciate you. If we can't get access to these ports, and we are basically hurling huge tariffs, I would say China just did a power play. China just went bam. Okay? If Trump came swinging, China just came for a knockout. China just came for a knockout. China is not messing around. So if you think Trump's not playing, if you think Trump is not playing, China's not playing either. By stopping the sale of ports, strategic ports, China is going to exert its presence in this global trade. Now, if it's not happening one way, but they are strategically positioning themselves in another way. Now, could it be a Great Depression? I'm with you, Armstead. Now, it's not going to be a Great Depression for everybody. It's going to be a Great Depression for some people. It's going to be a recession for some people. For people who know how to follow economic booms, you're still going to be getting that money. China will rule. Well, I think everyone in the world rules. I mean, I don't have a problem with China. China's smart. America's smart. Mexico's smart. Canada's smart. So let's not come in my live with that, guys. China just made a strategic play by coming in and stopping the sale of ports that are strategically located. Now, I have to give credit where credit is due. You want to talk about play chess? That's a boss chess move. That is a boss. That is a G move. To go against the tariffs that Trump is coming up with. I love this shit. I love this type of stuff. Where you see people battling out. That's called strategy. That's called long-term thinking. So if Trump wants to levy tariffs, China is going to stop and or charge a lot of money for U.S. cargo ships to come through. You see, China's going to get that bag. If they can't get it through tariffs, they're going to get it through the ports. That's a boss move. Welcome to my live. Okay? So these moves are intended to give China leverage in incoming negotiation. Okay? I told you the U.S. is not playing around and China's not playing around either. And this is what you should see with this. This is tug of war. Now, I believe that we all should put our egos to the side and we should just sit down and do business. Okay? We should say, China playing chess, that guy playing checkers. Well, I mean, Gunny. Okay? We should say, China playing chess, that guy playing checkers. Well, I mean, Gunny. I don't know, Gunny. Let me tell you why. The U.S. has buyers. And even if the U.S. has to carve a canal through a location to create a new canal, they will do so. Let me explain to you why. There's short-term losses, and then there's mid-term and long-term gains. Just because someone wins the battle doesn't mean they win the war. You have to understand that. You think that these ports are the only way for people to get their goods to customers? No. If we have to put it on a submarine, if we have to put it on a submarine and we have to go under to get our goods to where we need to, all is not lost. See, the problem is that you guys, you have to have a vision. You have to have a vision. Some of you are not visionary. And you think, hey, yeah, the ports didn't sell. You can't come through Panama. If you watch the news, you would know that Iraq is planning to create a trade hub. So while certain ports are being owned, certain ports are being created. You think because one thing blocks, you think that that block stops money? No. There's other ways to get goods to people. And that is how some trade ports become obsolete. When you do too much and you do it too soon, you can actually make your trade port become obsolete. That means crickets and cobwebs. Crickets and cobwebs. All we have to do is invest in Iraq and help Iraq get their 17 billion trade canal up and running. And guess what? The U.S. is back in business. So y'all need to think things through before you start taking sides, because this is not about sides. This is about money. You talk bull doo-doo. Yes, and you sound very intelligent. You sound very intelligent. Check your English. Get your English straight if you're going to check me, okay? There's always more than one way. There's always more than one way to get goods to people. But short term, it's a power move. It is a power move. Long term, I don't know how long it's going to work. Real talk. People can create a port like that. A lot of money's on the table. Thank you. And that is called money flow. That's called money flow. Short term, owning these ports, power move. Long term, you can have crickets and cobwebs. We will take our ships through the middle of Africa if we can to get our ports there. Don't get confused, people. This is about money. It's solely about money, all right? Now, Australia's central bank warns that U.S. trade policies threaten global growth. Yes, Australia. Yes, Australia, that is what it's doing. But that's a natural part of economic cycles. So when Australia's saying their central bank warns that U.S. trade policies threatens global growth, it's not a threat. It's a fact. And you must understand that global trade growth has already been impacted because there's been unfair tariffs that's being placed on individuals or countries that's being placed. So what is wrong with these people? You're trying to say the U.S. is responsible for global trade growth declining when you already know it was on cracked ice. You already know it was crumbling. This is what I don't understand about these business people, these finance people. I don't think they're really innovative. I don't think they have a vision. I don't think they're strategic. I think they're just regurgitating whatever they see right now. Anybody who is visionary, who is a trailblazer, a pioneer, knows that you have to take a step back, restructure, recalibrate, and then you can launch off to space. So these trade tariffs are not a temporary, they're not a long-term impact unless you let them be. The purpose of the tariffs is to get people to come to the table, renegotiate, come to new terms and a new age. Tariffs is to get people to come to the table, renegotiate, come to new terms and a new age so we launch into the stratosphere as far as prosperity and growth. That is the natural laws of the jungle. That is how it works. You got to cool off. You have to gain perspective and then you launch again. If you just keep going up and up and up, that does not make sense. You know, Arm said, I think anything's up for grabs. I think anything is up for grabs. I mean, at this point, people are not thinking objectively. They're not skilled. They're not knowledgeable enough to understand what's happening. But to answer your question, I believe anything is up for grabs. Anything is possible. Perishable, non-perishable. depending on how emotional people get, people meaning countries and our, people in power, depending on how much their ego impacts, that will determine how far this goes. The stock market doesn't have to crash. The stock market is only declining because one, it was overheated. Two, you had investors and other people who are manipulating things to their advantage. And now that things are recalibrating, they're having a hard time dealing with reality. They want to tell you the S&P 500 was the biggest thing, that it just keeps bigger and bigger and bigger, but it wasn't based off of sound fundamentals. So the markets are actually coming down to where they're supposed to be so that we can take launch again. You can't go to space unless you have a solid foundation. And that is the purpose of these tariffs. And that is the purpose of renegotiating global trade deals so that we can all get to the next level. You can't get to the next level until you ascertain the strength of your foundation. The world is changing. The world is always going to change. It doesn't matter if you're capitalistic, you're communist, you're socialist. The fact is this, it's based off of human beings. And we all need to eat. We all need to thrive. We all want peace and prosperity. So if we all have the same goal, I don't give a damn how we get there. You can be capitalistic, communistic, socialistic. I don't care. We all need the same thing. But if we keep interfering because our ideals or our ideals are getting in the way, this is about money. This is about legacy. This is about having strong roots and culture and civilizations. This is how people in power ruin a legacy, because they're thinking with their ego and they're not thinking about future long-term consequences. Short-term gains can actually eradicate an empire. If you don't believe me, look at the Roman Empire. They took it too far. The British Empire, they took it too far. When you go too far, you are actually signing your certificate, RIP. When you go too far, you do too much, it comes a point of diminishing returns, and then your great empire starts to collapse before your face because you went too far, you did too much, and you can't come back from it. And that's real talk. It can happen to anybody, even today. Trump is working to make sure it doesn't happen to America. China is working to make sure it doesn't happen to them. The EU, Canada is working to make sure it doesn't happen to them. But if we don't work together and realize because of digital technologies, we are a global society, people are going to suffer. They're thinking about the future. They're looting the government to force privatization. In SLARP, everybody's looting. Even an employee who shows up to work and does the basic of a job is looting the system. Do not come in my live stream with your goddamn rhetoric. Everybody on some level is hustling. People who show up to jobs who's supposed to be working 8 hours a day and their ass is in the loo, at the water tank, or getting coffee, or walking their ass around the business. Everybody is on some fucking bullshit. So don't come here telling me that they are looting. Everybody's looting. Employees are looting. Okay? Everybody is lazy as hell and they want the most as possible. I told you to keep it out of my live stream. Now you're gone. Now let me wrap this up. Final story. All right? Here we go. So, global share prices are sinking. Various retaliation threats are happening with tariffs. But let me tell you, I told you this yesterday. The tariffs are actually exposing international vulnerabilities, and people are being financially exposed. On my second live stream, I didn't tell you guys this. On my second live stream, I told you why I believed that China was upset about these tariffs. Japan has flown to Washington, D.C. and taken its complete cabinet to negotiate. I sat back and I wondered, why is China having such a visceral reaction to tariffs when they've been using or leveraging tariffs against the U.S.? Let me tell you what I think. It is hypothetical. I believe that the tariffs that the U.S. was paying to China was being used as a subsidy to manufacturing in China to allow them to have cutthroat pricing. I'm going to repeat this. It is my belief the reason why China is having such a visceral reaction to these tariff trade wars is the fact that they were using the tariff money that US was paying to subsidize Chinese manufacturers so that they could have cutthroat pricing and have market domination. And without the tariffs there to subsidize manufacturing, their pricing may not be the lowest prices on the market. And I believe they would lose market share to another country. What do you think? Where are my people at? Y'all got to get me up. Y'all got to get my hearts up. That's what I think. That's the only thing that makes logical sense as to why they would have such a visceral reaction and what there would be more competition. Thank you. I agree with you. Hold on. I agree with you, Ricardo. That's true. Ricardo, that's true. But without us paying tariffs to China, where would China get the money to subsidize manufacturing? You have to understand when a business does cutthroat pricing, so it backfired. Yes, Ricardo. Yes, Ricardo. Yes, Ricardo. Are you guys liking my live stream? Are you guys liking, confusing? Can they just not have tariffs and give the money to companies? Oh. Welcome to my live stream. Do you guys like my live stream? You got to tap that heart, people, because I'm going to bring it home. I'm going to bring this home. I told you the purpose of this is to help you all understand money flow, to help you understand people's motivations, and to help you become prosperous. Okay? Welcome to my live stream, all right? My name is Tara. I am a digital nomad. I have a degree in business and international economics, and we work really, really hard to get these topics to educate all of you, all right? And I'm relying on all of you to take me viral. Yes, my name is Tara. I'm relying on all of you to take me viral. Do you understand? Stop watching these fake to take me viral. Do you understand? Stop watching these fake influencers, fake financial influencers, and you need to be talking about me. I want to be real talk. Stop watching these fake financial influencers, and y'all need to be watching me because this is where it's at, okay? Answer the questions. Austin, don't push me, Austin, all right? I answer what I want. I have a script that I talk off of. This is not a free-for-all, all right? Last, Vietnam is going to be hosting China and the EU to talk about tariff risk. So in the midst of Liberation Day, okay, Vietnam is going to be hosting China and the EU to talk about everything, okay? China, EU, and Vietnam will run China, EU, and Vietnam has been running very large trade surpluses with the US. Listen, we're going to finish this up. China, the EU, and Vietnam has been running very large trade surpluses with the United States. When there's a surplus, that means there is an imbalance, okay? If one side is up, that means the other side is down. Are you with me? A trade surplus is like a scale. If one part of the scale is, let's say, one part of the scale is higher or lower, that means there's an imbalance. So the U.S. has a trade deficit in comparison to China, EU, and Vietnam. So if some of you want to understand why Trump is putting tariffs, it's because other countries have been economically benefiting on our behalf. This is not personal. This is not personal. This is basic money. So if we have to balance the playing field. You are asking me a question that you can look up on your own, and that's going to lead you to get blocked. Do not ask me questions that you can do research on your own. There is a trade surplus. Thank you. There is a trade surplus that's happening not on our side, and we're trying to rebalance the scales. Very simple. We're trying to balance the scales so we can have an even playing field. Money is flowing in crypto. Chill. Money is not flowing in crypto. Crypto is going down just like the stock market. Cut your shit. All right? Cut your shit. Not in my live stream. So where do we stand, guys? China is campaigning They're they're campaigning to travel around Southeast Asia, and they are strengthening ties with countries like Malaysia and Cambodia. Now listen, if you know anything about the relations between countries in Asia, they don't get along, okay? I want to repeat, countries in Asia, the continent of Asia, they have a long history of catfighting, okay? Ego tripping, they don't get along. So I don't know how successful China's campaigning they're going to be. I don't know how successful it's going to be, because China and Japan doesn't get along. I mean, China and Taiwan, the list goes on and on and on. They've been beefing for so long. I would be surprised if they can agree on the color of the sky. But if they can achieve a regional trade agreement, good luck. But they can't get along. And if you don't know anything about human beings, petty people will always be petty people, okay? They don't change. One person gives a smart ass remark and they're all fighting again. I want to repeat. So even though there's a lot of work and effort being taken to unite Asia and bring Asia together, if you look at the history of countries in Asia, they're always beefing. They're always beefing. You want to know why? Because they have a long, rich history and a strong culture. The U.S. is a young country. The U.S. is a young country. China is an ancient, great civilization. There's so many ancient, great civilizations in the East. They can't put their egos to the side. If they can put their egos to the side and come up with some type of economic unison trade agreement, then you know what? I would love to see that. I'm not holding my breath, but I would love to see that. Now, where's the money? Anyone who watches my live stream, I'm going to tell you this again and again and again until it changes. The money is in AI. The money is in crypto. The money is in automations, humanoids, cybersecurity. That is where the money's flowing. Initially in my live stream, I told you that Wall Street is hoping, wishing, and praying, but now they're being shady, that AI can deliver the bag. The reason why they're being shady is that AI is destroying their normal golden goose. But AI, the digital industry, is where the money's at. It's where the future is going. It's what's allowing Trump to lay off 2 million plus civil employees. It's the reason why companies like Amazon and Tesla are able to lay off people, because they have robots, automations that replaces the cost of human beings. Are you with me? So when I tell you that the world is changing, the world is changing. When I tell you that the job market is being restructured, it actually is. The job market that you become accustomed to, it's shrinking, because the number of people that are needed to perform a role is no longer necessary. So when you have CEOs like NVIDIA, Anthropic, come on the news and tell you that AI is this far away, quantum computing is going to do this, humanoid robots are only 2 to 3 years away, you must pay attention, because that is like your warning. They are warning you. They're giving you a runway to pivot your income earning abilities so that you do not end up on the side of the Great Recession, Great Depression. That is the purpose. You guys see these men or these women in suits giving these announcements. You say, and you just changed the channel. No, they're telling you the future. They're telling you what's coming. And if you're listening very carefully, you would know, AI. AI is impacting real estate. AI is impacting corporate jobs. AI is doing all these changes. So if you work in corporate America, you should already know AI can probably do your job. Project managers, program managers, you people are going to lose your jobs. Consultants, high-priced consultants, they can have quantum computing, AI, put into a humanoid robot and do a better job than you. Yes, you need a new skill set, Oliver. You're correct. You do need a new skill set. And that new skill set is earning digital money. You see, humans, we will always exist. We will always exist, but you have to understand, relying on employment is not the secret to your success anymore. Going to school and taking on tens of thousands of dollars of student loan debt to get a job and take the next 10 lifetimes to pay it off, that's not going to work. You must have your own business. Now, I'm not advocating for you to have a business in which you go for broke. Typically, when you have a business, you're dealing with taking out loans, using your savings, asking for a hookup. You have too much overhead. You are alive at a time where you can have a business that has zero expenses. Did you hear me? You are alive at a time in which you can have a business that has zero expenses because you are leveraging the technologies that are putting you out of a job. Now, how do you do that? Well, I'm not an advocate of creating anything. One of the things of having people do all the work before you is that you reap the benefits of it. Now, anyone who really wants to know really quickly, just leave my live stream. Go to my profile. My website's there. The e-learning industry is a part of the digital economic boom. The e-learning industry uses the technology of automations and AI in an industry that is the future. E-learning is the future. No one automations and AI in an industry that is the future. E-learning is the future. No one's going to be sitting there behind in a chair for 8 to 12 hours in school. Just like you want remote work, people are going to want remote education because it's more affordable, it is effective, and it's convenient. So if you still think that sitting in a classroom, whether it be for your children or going to college, is the way to go, no, because the world is global. It is digitized. So if people who want to get this money early, you know what you do? You align with the money. You align with the technologies. You do what Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla's doing. They are aligning themselves for current and future prosperity. It's only people who are trying to do things in ways that are becoming obsolete who are struggling. So why am I talking about the e-learning industry? Because the e-learning industry, one, it's booming. It's lucrative. It is projected to double within 2 years. It is at $1.5 billion daily right now. Hello. It is projected to double, which means 1.5 goes to $3 billion daily. Now, how do you get this money? Well, I already told you. You need to do as follows. You need to align yourself with the money side. How do you do that? Well, someone already said you got to have new skills. You got to get reskilled. You have to have the knowledge to be able to earn money digitally online. You have to have the technology to be able to earn money online in the digital industry. Now, luckily for all of you, someone has gone ahead and created the technology and the reskilling program that comes together. Let me give you an example. Your TV, your flat screen TV comes with a manual, does it not? You buy a new refrigerator or a new washer and dryer. It comes with a manual, does it not? There is an automated system that's pre-built automated system that is in the e-learning industry that allows you to have a 2-hour workday, to get paid daily, and to have 24 hours in the e-learning industry that allows you to have a 2-hour workday, to get paid daily, and to have 24/7 passive income. I'm going to repeat. There is an automated system that is a low investment, that's cheaper than your cell phone, that's cheaper than your flat screen TV, that's cheaper than your gaming system, that allows you to use automations and AI in the e-learning industry. Automations, it's booming. AI, booming. E-learning, booming. I just gave you something wrapped into one in an industry that's booming, that's taking away jobs and opportunities. This automated system allows you to have a 2-hour workday. I said 2. That's uno dos. 2-hour workday. You're used to an 8 to 16-hour workday. Some of you are working 60 to 80 hours a week. I want you to imagine a 2-hour workday. You want to know why? Because you're using automations to do the heavy lifting of your work. You with me? Just like Amazon can use automations and Tesla can use automations and a Chinese factory can use automations, you can use automations to have a 2-hour workday, to get paid daily, and earn 100% of the profits. When I said 100%, I said 100%. What is 100% profits? Well, that means you earn money, you have no expenses, you earn all the revenue. You earn all the revenue. Welcome to the digital age, people. The digital age is legal, it's legit, and it's lucrative. Now, how do you do this? Well, I told you before, you leave my live stream, you go to my profile, my website's there. When you get reskilled, you're welcome. When you get reskilled, it's no different than an employer reskilling you or you going back to school. I'm telling you the shortcut. I'm telling you the easy way. I'm telling you the way that makes sense. That's what I'm telling you. When you get reskilled on how to earn digital money, you are actually able, there's a puzzle in front of my face. There we go. When you get reskilled to earn money online digitally, you must understand that you can sell pretty much anything you want online. So this is beyond the automated system. Yes, I call it, this is an automated money machine. It gets you a 2-hour workday. It gets you 24/7 passive income, and you earn 100% of the profits. But the reskilling allows you to earn money online, selling anything you want without investing in inventory, without investing in marketing and advertising. This is huge. So unless you know how to attract a customer, I said attract, like online dating, you attract a person. Do you know how to attract a customer? Because if you don't, you're wasting money on marketing and advertising. You don't have to pay for marketing and advertising to find a customer. You don't have to waste money, time on drop shipping. This is not multi-level marketing. This is not cold calling. This is not network marketing. This is not affiliate marketing. Okay? Network marketing, guess what? You work a lot of hours for pennies and peanuts. Network marketing, you work a lot of hours for pennies and peanuts. Affiliate marketing, you're getting small commissions. I'm telling you, you earn 100% of the money. How much does it cost? It's cheaper than your cell phone. Let's say you paid $1,000 for your cell phone, a one-time investment. When I said small, one-time investment of $600 or $300 or $100. I repeat, a one-time investment of $100, $300, or $600 will get you an automated system where all you have to do is plug in your domain name. You can get that up and running within 72 hours. And then you start getting reskilled on how to earn money online. Now, this is learn to earn. I want to repeat, learn to earn. This is not study for 3 months and then maybe. No, you have to learn to earn. So if you're good, you pay attention, guess what? You can turn a profit quickly. If you need more time, guess what? You take that time. The fact is this, whether it takes you 7 days to launch a profit or 4 weeks to launch a profit, you're still better off because you have technology that you own. You're getting knowledge and skill sets that you can use online to earn money from your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, or computer. And you don't have this information right now. So to ride an economic boom, you need the right time, you need the technology, and you need the skill sets. I'm going to repeat. This is the secret recipe to riding any economic boom, to follow money flow. You need to be on time. Not too late, not too soon. You need to have invested in the technology, and you have to have the knowledge and skill set to stack this money. If you have those 3 things and you're not taking risky decisions, you can go from one economic boom to the next, and that is how you build generational prosperity. If you mess up one of these 3 things, you will go from having money to being broke money. It's a very simple formula. Amazon does it, Google does it, Apple does it. They see the future, they invest in technology, they get knowledgeable, they take action, they stack that bank. If Apple is too late to come to the market, guess what? They lose market share to Android. So that's why Apple lied about AI intelligence, Apple intelligence, because they knew if they did not come to market, they run the risk of losing credibility. So when you have the right time, you have the technology, and you have the knowledge, that is how you build bank. Now, some of you are confused. Why are you confused? You went to school to be a nurse. You went to school to be a hairstylist. You got skilled at being a car mechanic. You got schooled at being, you even got schooled on how to be a cashier. So instead of getting paid peanuts, pennies, and scraps, I'm telling you to stop wasting money on your cell phones. Invest one time, $600, $300, or $100 in an automated system that is yours, that will allow you to have a 2-hour workday, that allows you to get paid daily, and allows you to have 100% profits, and all you need is to take action. Now, some of you saying, I can't do this. Yes, you can. A 4-year-old can do this. The information taught to you is so beginner friendly Step by step, a 4-year-old can do this. That's a baby. You can be a high school dropout, college dropout, life dropout. You can be a loser for life. And you need to get taught what you need to do this. You can be a corporate executive who's unemployed. You can be an MBA graduate who can't get a job. If you don't know how to earn money online and you don't have your own business that costs you no money, you need to learn this information. Real talk. The future is not going to change. We are going forward with digital technologies. And for human beings, having a brick and mortar business does not make sense. Let me tell you why. You're going to have businesses like Amazon, Costco, who are able to leverage the technology. Can you give us more details? The details are on my website, Authentic. I do not spoon feed. If I have piqued your interest, all you got to do, instead of taking action on typing a message, take that energy, go to my profile, go to my website. I'm trying to teach y'all how to go get that bag. People get comfortable typing comments and TikTok live streams. And then when you leave my live stream, you sit there like, duh. And you go to the next live stream and the next live stream. You got to learn how to go get your money. Not go sign up for welfare. Not go sign up for unemployment. You can take initiative for that. I'm telling you to take initiative to stack this money. Get this money, follow this money, and stash this money. And that means you got to do some work. And all you got to do is go to my profile, go to my website. Everything you need to know is there. Very simple. There's a payment plan for some of y'all too. You cannot afford not to look into this. The job market is not going to look the same 12 months from now. 24 months from now, you're going to see robots delivering your packages. You're not going to see people. If you're making so much money, why are you begging online? Well, I don't know, Ted. Why are you still broke and uninformed? Make it make sense. You assume I'm begging online. Congratulations. Back on topic. Companies like Amazon is going to be positioning itself to have greater market share. It's going to be able to do this is because it's going to be able to use robotics and automations to work at a speed that will allow them to consume more mom and pop shops. Because of AI, quantum computing, and robotics, Amazon is going to make it so that mom and pop businesses will be put out of business because they're not going to be able to compete with the efficiencies and the prices of companies like Amazon. So when I tell you that you need to shift to digital ways of earning money, I'm asking you to kind of trust me on this one. I'm asking, because some of you have a problem seeing a vision, I'm asking you to trust me on this one. They are investing in these technologies because they're going to have a certain level of dominance and price competitiveness that small businesses are not going to be able to compete with. So what do humans do? Humans need to shift in an industry that allows them to earn money easily. You don't have to work that hard anymore. You don't have to drive 18 hours to work for Uber. You don't have to work 12-hour shifts. You don't have to sit in a job in a cubicle for 8 to 12 hours anymore. You need to see the future. And the people who move quickly, they get the money. The people who sleep on this, you're going to have to wait for the next economic boom, and you will be trapped in a form of poverty, recession for an extended period of time because you miss the window of opportunity. And anyone who trades or invests, who's in real estate, you know timing is critical. If you get on too soon or you get on too late, you miss the sweet spot to stack this cash. This is real money flow talk. Right now is the right time. 2 years from now, e-learning is going to be, it's doubled. Automations is the future. AI is the future. So when you couple that together, you got AI, you got automations, and you got online. Why? Why now? Why not? Why now you don't? Why now you know something we don't? Well, Legs, the reason why I know is because I make it my business to know. Very simple. So guys, I have to stream. I have to go on my next live stream. Anyone who's interested in trying to pivot and to ride economic booms, this is an economic boom that has no gatekeeper, no permits, no licenses, no regulators. It's beginner friendly. It is beginner friendly. It is easy. You can do this. If you can be broke for an sustained period of time, you can do this. If you can be hustling and making no money, you can do this. Take a chance on yourself. Technology, timing, knowledge. All right? Have a good night. I will be back again tomorrow. Thank you for following me. Thank you for the hearts. I wish you well. Take action. Go to my profile. Go to my website. Everything you need is right there. Have a good night. Thank you.